I have chosen this particular session for electronic reporting. I think this is quite major and more important session for everybody who is not well aware of this particular tool, electronic reporting. Well, it's a configurable business document in electronic reporting, which we will be understanding it in today's session. Those who don't know me, my name is Zishan Sheikh. I'm a senior consultant in DXC right now. I have almost 10 years of work experience. If you need to inquire any details regards to this topic, you can contact me over my email ID, which has been mentioned in this slide, and you can contact me to my LinkedIn profile. So hopefully I'll be able to answer to your queries if I'm not able to uh, respond to your queries in end of this session due to the time restrictions. So what will you learn today? As I have mentioned that electronic reporting, it's a vast tool by Microsoft for D365 system here, because in electronic reporting, what I have seen is as a functional background, you can be able to generate your reports. You can generate your legislation kind of report based on your specified region, and you can generate your document reports based on your specified requirement from your customers or vendors. So first of all, when I was working for AX 2012 or AX 2009 or 4.0, we always had to go to the technical team to develop a report for us, or maybe we want some EFT file, SEPA file, or some specified reports to be generated or to be generated with the help of technical team. Well, this electronic reporting help us to do the configuration as per our need, and you actually do not need technical support from the technical team. So that's a configurable mechanism which is being offered by Microsoft. But don't get me wrong, you will be needing some technical knowledge regards to that in order to configure it. Yeah. So today, the agenda would be for this presentation is we'll understand the concept of electronic reporting. We'll understand the three components of electronic reporting and how do we actually build the report in the system. And we'll try to test it in the demo environment, and we'll just entertain your queries if there will be any queries occur. Yep. So as I mentioned that we have three different component in electronic reporting: data model, uh, data mapping configuration, and format configuration. So the concept of this data model is pretty much major for developing a report. Basically, it's a structure which you will be designing it for your report or your EFT files. For example, in your purchase order report, you will be needing your vendor account, vendor details like purchase order number, terms of payments, and maybe item name, item number, your GST and other stuff. So all these data types will be defined on your data model. I'll show you in the system how do we actually create it in the system. Yep. Once we define this data model, we will be uh, updating or creating the data mapping. So the concept of data mapping configuration is nothing but just a binding from your D365 database to the structure which we have developed it. So that's why this particular arrow is denoted to data model because we will be taking all the information of your fields, of your reports field into your data model. Once your data model is fully bind each of your field, then it will be translated into your format configuration. Now, in electronic reporting, we usually prepare the documents business documents in two different formats. Either it's in Word format, and second is Excel. Uh, so we have to define your own format in order to bring all these data model structure in place. Now, I had a customer who wanted this particular configuration, electronic reporting aspects, but the thing is, they do not want to have the Word or Excel format. They were asking for that I should be getting this particular report in PDF, so that it shouldn't be editable. It should be a presentable form. So Microsoft have recently brought this functionality so that we can be able to convert that Word file or Excel file, whatsoever formats we are going to design here. It will automatically get transmitted into PDF file, and you can be able to send it to the customer or vendor through D365. Yep. So I'm trying to make the concept, start building the concept for you so that we can be able to understand more. And when we are going to go for the configuration, then we will be able to make sense of it. Uh, Before we start these three pillars or component of electronic reporting, make sure that you do have activated couple of these features management in D365. One is business document management. uh, the concept of this business document management is, once you are going to configure your report from electronic reporting, then this is another form or the layer where you can be able to make any modification or the changes on business document management. Basically, this particular tool allows you to make formatting change or adding any field within the same report. Yeah. So that is very much important for the business perspective. Especially clients usually ask for that. Yeah. And in terms of configuration, we do have a configuration provider which we have to develop it in order to create your report. Now, Microsoft have brought couple of reports, or EFT file, electronic file payments, uh, in their repository as a shared library. So you can say that there are a couple of purchase order reports, sales order reports, or sales invoice, FTIs, and fixed asset roll forward reports. So you can be able to utilize your existing report which is being offered by Microsoft, and also you can further enhance those existing reports whatsoever Microsoft have been provided in LCS. So all these reports are placed in shared folder. So here it's called a share repository. So if we are going to define it as a Microsoft configuration provider, what you need to do is we will be defining it as a Microsoft.com here, and we will be placing it LCS. So what will happen is whatsoever reports or documents are being provided by Microsoft, you can be able to export it. Right now, I have just mentioned as DXE. The purpose of putting DXE configuration provider is if I would like to make any enhancement of the existing report, or if I would like to uh, create my report from scratch, then I will be using my configuration provider. So how do we do it? You need to click on the configuration provider and defined as an operation resources and create repository. What will happen is it will store the report, whatsoever report you are going to develop, in your repository. It will not be shared in LCS, and it will not be shared to any other uh, library or any other project. Although this particular requirement, let's say that recently I have been working on a couple of EFT file for some of the customers, and like ANZ So this particular requirement is being used in some other customers in New Zealand. So I can store my EFT file, which I have developed in electronic reporting. I can share it in my LCS, and I can retrieve that file for my some other customer, rather than asking my technical team that we would like to have that particular file as we have been using some XYZ customers. So it can be shared in your LCS repository in order to utilize it for your other customers. So in electronic reporting configuration, once we have defined the uh, configuration provider, what we'll do is we'll go into the reporting configuration in order to start the configuration of your report. Today I will be talking about your how to build a report, a basic report of purchase order. So what we'll do is, since for this ER configuration, what we need to do is we have to follow the three component, the one which I have discussed in my previous slide. One is the data model. So in order to create a data model, what we'll do is we'll go to the reporting configuration. Please note that I'm just walking you through about uh, the report which we are going to develop from scratch. Yep. So we are not going to utilize the existing report which has been designed by Microsoft. Once we click on the reporting configuration, we uh, we will just click on the create configuration, but this is how it will look like once this particular report is developed, and the configuration provider will be your DXE or whatever you have defined as your configuration provider. In order to create your data model, what you'll do is you'll click on the create configuration. You'll define your report name here, define your configuration provider. It cannot be Microsoft. It should be your configuration provider, since it will be placed in your repository. Once you do that, click on the create configuration. Then in order to define the data model, you'll click on the design option, design button. So here, since I have been working on the purchase order report, so I have designed the structure of all the types or the fields which I'll be needing it for my report. So I have, designed a separate structure and hierarchy for company. So within the company, I've defined company information, logo, name, street, zip code, enterprise number. Yep. So for header, I'll be defining all my data types, currency, delivery terms, and yada, yada, yada. So you will be defining all these things manually, and here you will be defining your data type. Either it will be a date time, either it will be your string or integer or Boolean. So you will be defining it here on the right-hand side under the type. Once you define your data type, then we will be do the data mapping configuration. So the concept of data mapping configuration is quite simple, and it might require some technical knowledge if you are going to have some, if you would like to have some logic or formulas to be used for specified reports. For example, I have taken some help on the company logo from Microsoft, from existing Microsoft report. So what happens is it requires some logic or the formula in order to retrieve that particular information. So sorry for that. Yeah. So what I have did is I have utilized a couple of formulas for in order to retrieve the company logo based on my purchase ID number and my existing legal entity. Based on that, I have defined a filter and rec IDs in order to retrieve the company logo of my purchase ID and the legal entity which I'm using for. Other than that, I have just used a simple table records, and I have just defined a purge line. Now, the concept of this purge line is nothing but just a table where a purge line has all the records of your purchase order. When I say purchase order, it has a very good option in electronic reporting where it already have a join with other tables. For example, um, I have seen that previously in AX 2012, whenever we were designing any FTD, so we usually define this particular field is belong to this table and that table, and we can make a join and define many to one or one to many relationship. So in this case, in electronic reporting, what options Microsoft have provided is if I'm going to generate a report for purchase order, now I do know that there are multiple fields which I'll be needing it. For example, vendor details, and vendor details may be having it in your global address book, your purchase table. So these are the two tables which I'm just recalling it right now. So Microsoft have developed all the relationship between your purchase line to purchase table to global address book, from purchase table to your GST, and GST, all the relationship is being defined on this single table. So we do not have to introduce multiple table in order to do the mapping. So once you define these tables here, what you will do is on the right hand side, you will see the data model, and you start doing the mapping by choosing the right field and click on the binding button. Once you do that, you can be able to test it in the system without designing the format. Yeah, that's what I usually recommend most of the guys who are working on electronic reporting, so that we should be able to track whatsoever fields we are trying to extract from the report. You can see it right now rather than changing the status from draft to completed. Once you do that, you will be designing your format configuration. So again, you will go back to the electronic reporting form, and under the data model, the one which we have created it, you will be clicking again the create configuration. You'll click on the format based on data model, purchase order report, and define the report name. And here you will be defining either it will be a Word document or Excel document. Yep. And the data model definition, the data model which we have designed in previous slide. Once you do that, you will be seeing the format which is being designed on your Excel file. I'll walk you through how does Excel file look like and how we can adjust the format and make some changes in terms of sizing, and how does D365 understand these fields with your Excel and do the mapping with your Excel fields to your data model. Once you do that, you can be able to run this report from here in order to see if everything looks fine to you, or else you can be able to generate the report from your print management. There's a downside from electronic reporting is what I have seen is electronic reporting is dependent upon the print management option. If you are seeing a print management option for your report, then this particular report will be visible for you in order to generate the report from the print management. So you cannot utilize any other report by placing a URL into your module like AP or AR. I would like to see the customer statement. If there is there is no print management option for your report, then you will not be able to retrieve the report from of your electronic reporting. Yep. So after designing this format configuration, what you'll do is you will try to generate the report, and this is how I have taken the snapshot of the report which I have developed it in the system. Yep. So let's see how do we actually create the report in the system, and then I'll just come back to the slides. Yeah. All right. I think I'll straightforward go to the electronic reporting. I've already designed or created the configuration provider, the one which we discussed in the slide. Yep. So it will be created it from here. You'll click new, define the DXC or whatsoever name you are going to define it here. And then you'll go to the repository and follow the same step which I have defined it in the presentation. Let's go to the reporting configuration in order to create your new report. Um, Again, these most of the reports are being designed by Microsoft, so you will be seeing some standard report. You can be able to utilize the data model of Microsoft, which has been designed here, but I thought to create my own report and show it to you so that we may have a clear understanding what and how do we actually design the report. So on the purchase order model, what I have did is I clicked on the create configuration on root and defined my report name, and this purchase order model came up. I'll click on the designer. I'll just take the draft version. So here, as you can see that I have designed a hierarchy where I can be able to, it's quite easier for me to locate what items I'll be needing it for which uh, which header. For company, obviously I'll be needing company related information. So I've just placed it here. So I was mentioning that we have to define the data types, and company name will be string, company string can be string, uh, enterprise number string, or zip code. So all these types I have designed it based on my purch line table. Whatsoever data type is being used in D365 table, I have defined the same. So I was struggling sometimes after defining something like enterprise number. I was expecting that okay, it will be integer, but when I tried to do the mapping, it was giving me an error by saying that no, D365 has a string value for this particular field, so you have to define the string data type for that. So I came back and defined these data types to string for this particular field. Yep. So it's quite straightforward. Design the order related information. I've set it up as a tree, and purchase line. You can create your another tree by mentioning it as a GST if you would like to have, or some other bank details information on it. After defining this data model, what you'll do is you'll click on the map model to data source, and you will just click new. It will automatically populate the same information whatsoever we have defined the structure here, and it will be purchase order model, and click design. Once you do so, the concept of this table record, which I have used it here as purchase line, is this particular table allows you to ask me what parameters I would be needing it in order to generate the report. For example, I want to generate this report for a specified purchase order. So this particular table record functionality allows me to go through with the parameters. if I'm going through, if I'm going to create a table with this particular option table and define the purchase line, system will not ask me any uh, purchase order number. And you might be ending up with error by saying that, okay, I have generated thousands of purchase order records, but if you have thousands of purchase order created in the system might be generating thousands of purchase order in your report. So make sure that you should be using table records. Again, you can be able to, Microsoft have given a couple of options in order to define the formulas for your specified fields. So as you can see that on the right hand side, you see the same structure which I have defined on the data model here. And on the left hand side, you basically see the data source or database of my D365. Again, there are some classes, objects from your D365 that's core technical. And again, you may be requiring some technical expertise in order to get these information. Like, I'm well aware of the structure of the purchase order. So I do know that what will be the tables I may be requiring it in order to generate the report. So same case, in order to generate couple of classes or generate couple of information from the objects, so you will be choosing these kind of options here. Yeah. Well, um, after choosing this particular table, what I have basically did is I have gone into the tree here and I have chosen, okay, I'll be needing a currency here. So it's tell me either it has been defined on the purge table and it's under currency code. So how did I actually achieve this particular result is I'll go into the purge line uh, table and I'll find the purchase table. Um, So here's the purchase table. As I've mentioned it, that in purchase line or any of your table, it automatically has the relationship between your all the tables which are linked with each other, one to many or many to one relationship. So you can be able to achieve your results based on that rather than you do the inner join and retrieve your results. So after getting inside the purge table, I'll click on, I'll start finding the currency here. Now I'm just trying to drag you in order to see how easy it is in order to get these information. If I know that this particular currency is falling under this table, what I'll do is I'll click on this table and click on search option in order to find this particular report, particular field. So if I do that, so it have directly redirected me to this particular field, and I'll just click on the bind button. It will automatically do the mapping for my data model. Yep. So again, if I click on edit here, on the right hand side, you may see a couple of functions here. Microsoft offers you a couple of logics behind each of these functions. You can retrieve the list of records for this specified field. You can define some logic behind that. All the syntaxes are already been defined here as well. So you do not have to worry on it. Whatsoever condition you have defined, and you can also test your result from here by clicking on test button. Yep. Once you bind all the records, whatsoever records you have defined on your data model, what I usually do is I click on the run button. What it does is it basically gives me the results on XML file, which tells me that whatsoever binding I have done for my data model, it looks fine to me or not. So for example, I'll just define some purchase order number. Click OK. If I open that, it will be in XML format. So this particular information is nothing but just your logo. So disregard the logo. Obviously, you will not be able to understand from here. But other than that, the company information, you'll see Contoso Entertainment System, um, company street, you'll see 123 Coffee Street, or blah, blah. So all the information are there. So again, within the same purchase order, you will see how many number of items in there and all the information which you have defined on the data model. So you do not have to complete the whole process of generating your electronic reporting. There's a breakpoint where you can be able to check the fields, whatever fields you have generated, if it looks fine to you. Yeah. After defining these data mapping, the last step is the uh, formatting. Microsoft again have keep enhancing this particular functionality. Initially, what happened is I had to design the Excel format first, and then manually I'll go into the design and and define all the fields whatsoever formats I have defined on my Excel format. So let me just walk you through about the format. How do we actually define the format? So D365 can understand the Excel format which we are going to define it on electronic reporting. So I have defined it on this attachment. Click on open. Basil, do give me the check if I'm behind the time. So
No, you are all good.
sweet, thank you. Okay. So this is the Excel file format which I have designed for my report. Yep. So I have defined this particular logo as per my need. So you can be able to manipulate and change as per your client's requirement. So I have defined the label. It's fixed label. Again, if you would like to have a specified label, then again you will be needing technical help. For example, if I'm saying it technical help, my company is also based in China and Australia and New Zealand. So Chinese vendors might be asking your purchase order in Chinese language. So these labels are fixed label. So if we would like to have a Chinese label or based on your company language, then you have to define @sys whatsoever label it has been defined here. Yeah, that's a downside where we have to take help from technical team based on configuring the electronic reporting. I've seen that Microsoft have keep saying that uh, business customers can be able to design the report. Uh, I believe so. It's not 100% true statement because you will be needing somehow technical help on your report. It completely depend upon the requirement from your customer, what you actually require it. For the basic one, I totally agree that Microsoft is saying whatsoever they are saying it in order to sell this particular piece is correct. But you will be facing a couple of issues regards to that. Now, going back to the topic here. So in terms of creating the format here, as you can see that I have defined here as a company name. And on the left hand side, there's a new field by the name of manage names, which has been defined name manager, where we where this particular field will be talking to D365 formatting. So how do we actually define these fields? And these are very much essential. If you're just going to define as a company name, D365 electronic reporting will not be able to understand this. So what you need to do is you'll be clicking on the name manager. You'll define, click on new, define the name, whatsoever name you are going to define, XYZ. And here you have to address which fields, which area or a column you would like to have this particular field. Yeah. So one by one, I have designed all of these items in my Excel report. Yep. After defining that, what you'll do is you will go into your designer and click on import, and you will click on the import from Excel. What will happen is D365 will automatically create these items for you. So you do not have to do anything on your side. But initially, I had to, define all of these items manually after defining the format on Excel. Once you do so, on the right hand side, you will see the data model, which we developed in terms of trees and, did the mapping. So what you'll do is now you will be mapping the fields one by one to your Excel file so that it should be available in your report. Once you do so, you can run the report from here, and after running it, if everything looks fine to you, you change the status from draft to completed. So this is how we are basically going to create the report in D365 through electronic reporting. It's a pretty good tool in order to use it for electronic uh, file transfer reports, where we actually submit the files to the banking online system. You can be able to generate a report for your customers or vendors. um, there's a very good report which has been developed by Microsoft, which is fixed asset rolling forward. This was this was very much important for most of the customer I have been working for. We have been customizing it for most of the customers. So I think Microsoft is also inclining to give some options for the functional team to develop the report from their end. Now, how do we actually use this report in your print management option? We have designed the report in electronic reporting, but how do we do it? In order to make it available in your print management, what you'll do is you'll click on the tags here. You will define what functional area it is. Yep. You will be defining it, the functional area. Is it related to inventory, AP, AR, whatsoever? You'll be defining it here. Uh, this is the major one, business document type, where it basically asks me, rather it should be available for us on the data, on your form setup in print management for your purchase order confirmation one. So once I will be defining this bit, it will be available in your print management. Let's see how does it look like. My report name is purchase order report Excel. If I go to the print AP module, form setup here, print management, purchase order, original. So if I go here, this is my report which is just available here. If I wouldn't have defined it on the text, I wouldn't be able to see my report here. So I'll click on it, and I can be able to generate this report in my uh, purchase order form. So let's see how does it look like. So if we go back here, we'll click on the purchase order. Okay, I think there's something. Just a second. Original Excel. Yeah, that's the one. I think. Somewhat is not working here, but ideally I have been testing that. So what will happen is anyway, it will be generated from here by clicking on the print management. Now again, as of now, I have created the report in Excel file format. So how do we actually convert this Excel file into PDF? So it's again new feature by Microsoft. I think it is mentioned in my slides as well. So you have to activate your convert electronic report outbound document from Microsoft Office templates formats to PDF. So this option is recently introduced by Microsoft. It should be enabled for us. And once you do so, you will be in the electronic reporting destination, you will be able to see the option called convert to PDF. So once you do so, it will automatically change it to PDF format. So system will automatically pass your file into PDF. Yeah. So I'll just quickly show you in the system. Electronic reporting destination. So again, that's a particular option. Again, there are a couple of more options for the print management under the settings, where you will be able to, set it up for your email archive file, or Power BI or printer, if you would like to generate a print report or print the report or something. So you can be able to utilize it. Again, the only issue which I'm just seeing it as of now is this particular reports only runs for your print management options. So it would be great if Microsoft is going to bring it or make it available for make it available for us to use it on our inquiries or any sort of option where we can create our hyperlink on the module aspects. Yep, I think that will be all from my end. We can entertain the questions now.
Yep, thank you,
Faisal?
Zishan. Yep, thank you, Zishan, for your time. Yeah, I got a couple of questions here, which I can read it for you. First question we got it from what options are available under format type drop down. So someone is
Uh,
asking about what are the options available in
yep,
format
yep,
type.
yep. So there are a heap of options like XML, maybe CSV and other stuff. But for the reporting perspective, document management, there are only two options. One is doc file and another is your Excel file. So obviously, electronic reporting is not limited. So you can be able to generate your EFT file. So obviously you won't be needing it in Excel or Word file. It will be either CSV file or maybe your text file or something. So you do have an option, but in order to generate the report, there are only two options which Microsoft have provided. That is Doc and Excel.
Excellent, thank you. Another question we got is, can we upload these electronic reporting files to SharePoint out of the box?
Um, no, I haven't tested that. I need to check that. Yeah, I don't see the options yet, but I haven't tested it yet. Maybe Microsoft is coming up with this thing, but haven't checked that. So need to validate.
Excellent, no problem. A couple of appreciations for your session, Zishan. Good job.
Thank you.
Really liking your session here. So yeah, that's all from all the questions which I got here for you.
All
If
right.
anyone, yeah, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask now. If you don't have any question now, we will share a survey. We will also share a feedback where you can always reach out to us and ask your questions there. We got a couple of more questions while I was just raising these with you. Can you show the feature management screen where this PDF needs to be enabled again, please?
Yes. If we so that's the option where we have to activate it. So it's quite new, which was being provided by Microsoft. Yeah.
Yeah, got a new question here, Jishan, if you would like to answer, please. In which platform update this PDF format was available? Like, as we said, it's quite new. Is it available in PU30, PU31? Do you remember from the top of your head?
I think it was PU31. Yeah, because as per the date which I'm seeing it, it's quite new. But yeah, probably PU31 from the memory.
All good, excellent. Yeah, we can check based on these dates. But I can see it might be PU31. Yep. No, excellent. With this, we all we questions we got all these questions. I believe we have answered all these ones. Again, if you still got any further questions, please feel free to reach out to us on our Dynamic 365 Finance and Operations Teams group on LinkedIn, and you can follow us on there, and please feel free to submit a feedback or a survey which we are going to share by very soon, maybe today or tomorrow morning, and after the end of this presentation. uh, Please do share your feedback. How do you like the sessions? uh, these are the first ever sessions which we are doing it for the virtual events, so we need you, and we need your support, we need your reviews. uh, with these ones, we will get one or two more questions. We can also import data using electronic reporting. Do you want to share any experience on that one? uh, any feedback, any experience on data sharing through electronic reporting, Zishan, please?
Yeah, again, you can be able to import and export to other customers. Like if you have designed any sort of report for your customer and you would like to utilize the same for other customer, what you can do is make sure the status should be completed. Yep. So for example, and that's the one which I have designed it. So, and I would like to reuse it for my other customers. So what I'll do is first I'll take the data model and click on the completed one. You know, I can, export it as an XML. Yep. And then the format, the one which we have designed in Excel. So what I'll do is I'll go to the status and again click on the exchange and export it as XML. So for other environment where you actually would like to import it, what you'll do is first you will put your purchase order model, and then you will be importing your purchase order report, and it's quite similar in order to click on the exchange on the top and load from XML file. Yeah. So, but make sure that you might be getting some error because of the versions. Again, Microsoft is keep updating the functionality on electronic reporting. So make sure the versions are the similar from one environment to another. Yep.
Excellent, thank you. We got one coming, like you can check your version from right hand side from the question mark. That's absolutely correct, but that environment has been updated to PU34 or 35, but the feature was enabled prior to that one. But we can actually come back to you the active PU version where when this PDF feature was actually available as part of the platform update. Or with this one, I would like to thanks everyone, all the attendees, and special thanks to all the members of this group, and also greatly very thankful to Zishan who came up and spent his valuable time in giving this presentation to everyone and helping the whole community.
Thank
Uh,
you.
What are you waiting for? Do join ANZ Dynamic 365 Finance and Operations Teams group on LinkedIn. See you there. Thanks.